Welcome to Thunder Nerds. I'm Brian Hinton.
And I'm Frederick Philip Von Weiss, and thank you for consuming the Thunder Nerds, a conversation with the people behind the technology that love what they do
And do tech
good. Hey, everybody, we're here at VueConf 2019, I believe.
Again. Good job.
Man, I get these years right. Where are we at, Brian?
We're in Tampa, Florida at the Strauss Performing Arts Center right along the river in downtown Tampa. It's a beautiful area.
Down by the river. And we are with one of the very special guests that's giving a lightning talk. We're with Chris DeMars.
Welcome.
Yeah.
I'm glad to be here. I'm glad you guys got me in.
Yeah, glad you could join us, Chris.
It's cool.
Yeah, Chris, if you don't mind, before we go into what you're talking about, if you could provide our audience a little bit of context about you.
Yep. So my name is Chris. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. I'm a front-end developer. I work at Tuft & Needle. Our HQ is based in Phoenix. I'm also an international speaker, Google developer expert, and Microsoft MVP. And this is the first time on Thunder Nerds.
Nice.
Yeah. And I'm also giving a lightning talk today. So
nice. And why don't we jump into that?
Yeah,
So what you're talking
about?
So I'm giving a lightning talk on accessibility. I did the same lightning talk in Toronto for VueConf. Accessibility is something I speak about all around the world. It's something I hold near and dear to my heart. And we need a lot of people out there speaking about accessibility and web accessibility and how we're working towards making the web more inclusive for everybody.
Near and dear to your heart in what way?
Yeah.
So I always kind of start off with a why. Like people ask me all the time, why do you care so much about accessibility, right?
Yeah.
And I kind of just go back to my mom. Like my mom, she's the baby boomer generation, right? She wears glasses. She has trouble seeing. She has trouble hearing. She can't remember things. Like I can tell her a conference I'm going to be at tomorrow.
Yeah.
And she won't remember 2 days later.
Yeah.
But she can remember stuff from January 2nd, 1977, like that, right? So she's kind of has the mental stuff going away. She has arthritis, so she shakes. She has trouble walking. Luckily, knock on wood, we don't have any wood. So
Brian's head.
she doesn't have any temporary impairments, like a broken hand, broken finger. But she has 4 of the 5 main types of impairments or disabilities that we're trying to target, right?
Yeah.
And if I can make an accessible user experience for her at the end of the day, I've done my job.
That's great.
And that's why I like it.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of people think of accessibility. I think, someone who has vision issues.
It's always blind or deaf.
Yeah,
blind or deaf.
That's all
That's
they
it.
think about.
That's
Yeah,
all
they
it
don't
is.
consider, I have a broken arm, I'm older, I have broken legs, maybe I just can't walk.
Right.
I can't see that type. It's too small.
Yeah, my mom has to hold her phone out to hear.
Well, and a lot of the times too is
Love you, Mom.
sometimes people don't think that if you're a parent with a newborn,
That's
you're holding your child and you have to work, right? And you only have one hand to use. Eventually, your child's going to get older. You'll be able to set them down and they'll run rampant on your house. But that's something most people don't think about. And when I bring that up in my talks, they're like, "Oh shit, yeah, I've been there." You've had some type of impairment in your life. If it's not, something that's going to affect you the rest of your life, or something that's not going to get better.
And it might not be accessible in that kind of sense of impairment. It could also be accessibility in the form of voice devices.
Right.
Hey, Alexa, read me this website
or
do that.
Exactly.
That was mean.
What?
Saying it.
Hey, Alexa, set an alarm for 11 p.m. for ghosts.
So, and lightning talks are very different in the sense of time compared to a lot of the other talks. What can you give us a little bit behind the scenes of what it was like to have to really condense it down? And did you have any struggles?
I'll tell you what, it is harder to write a lightning talk than it is to write a full session.
Yeah,
I've done an Ignite style talk where you get 5 seconds a slide, 20 slides, 15.
Wow.
However long, and it's auto forwarded for you. It's you don't control the deck. Yeah, it's you got to watch the screen and okay, it switches, and then you got to just roll.
You're singing along to the song.
Yeah, it's 15 seconds, 20 slides, 5 minutes, and you don't control the slides.
Wow.
Yeah, and I've had to do that, and that's hard to do.
They're
just hard to do.
How is it even good for the audience? That seems like a weird one.
Ignite is a huge kind of thing, and they're doing something right.
Hey, you're still getting the info out.
Yeah, you're still getting, and you're getting it quick, and you're consuming it quickly. And if you've got questions, let's talk afterwards.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
how long did it take you to actually get this together?
I had
short.
And sorry I just want to also ask, how long is the actual talk?
I think it's 15?
8 minutes.
The
lightning talks are 8 minutes.
8 minutes. That is a lot.
So I took this talk, which was an Ignite talk, which was 5 minutes. I added slides to it to make it 10 minutes for Toronto. Now I had to cut slides down to make 8 minutes. It's I went from 30 slides to 22. It's like I'm gonna have to like bang, 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 bang. So yeah.
Wow,
it's hard. Like I can put together a full session talk, but
now does it narrow to the I mean, I imagine it does, what you can actually talk about related to the topic? Do you focus on a specific, like your accessibility? Right. Are you focusing on a specific?
Yeah, so it's like the title is like accessibility for everyone or accessibility 101. So I try to cover like all the important high level stuff from A to Z as quickly as possible. Like intro wins that we can do right now.
Okay.
Tools that help test, and issues and how to fix them within 8 minutes. It's like the high level things I think are very important that other people may look over sometimes. So
do you mind if we touch on some of the points that maybe first off that didn't make the cut, some of the more bigger stuff that you just don't really have the time to go into with the lightning talk?
Like understanding like different levels of accessibility, like level A, level
B,
stuff like that. The importance of focus, like focus is really important, but I give a whole talk on focus, right? I wouldn't be able to talk about all that within the 8 minutes. But I talk about like color, how colors matter. I talk about like semantic markup, how that matters because it's accessible by default. Different types of tools out there, screen readers, and then testing and audit tools that you can use to gauge those experiences in this talk.
What do people sometimes miss with just the fundamentals of semantic code? Like, when they think like, oh, you know what, it doesn't matter, but why does it matter for our audience?
Well, so semantic markup by default is accessible, right? So you don't want to have tons of divs all over the place.
Okay.
And you see that a lot if they're not writing, using a header or using a footer, right?
I prefer everything in a span.
Well, I mean, everything should go in a span, right? And then style it out with IDs. But like a lot of the times you see, oh no, we need alt attributes. It's like alt attributes is like a common one. Like you have to have an alt attribute on your images because if not, that is the most important. In my opinion, that's the most important piece of that image.
And it's probably the most missed.
It is. It's very missed.
And with text that makes sense. Don't just have alt attribute.
Like
this is the image.
Yeah. Dog. What dog? Whose dog? You get that a lot too. Or you get like a paragraph of alt text. It's like, no, short and descriptive to the point.
So. It's like there's a short story in the alt text of all the images.
Yeah.
That'd be
but I mean, that's just common things that are overlooked sometimes, even colors. Like, because you have your design team and your marketing team who love this palette of colors, but it just doesn't work.
Well, that's some of the things about colors that people aren't thinking about. Like, as far as like, oh, I might not be able to read this, or a certain person of a certain age might not be able to read this text on this color background.
Well, so especially if your product is catering to like an aging population of people, right? But you're styling it, you have colors that you think are cool, right? I had to deal with some stuff one time where it was like a light gray links on a white background, and you run it on and it fails. It's like you can't do this. Like you have customers that are just starting to get into this that are gonna have this till they're dead and gone. Like they have to be able to read and pay bills. If they can't see it, you're doing yourself a disservice, them and the industry in wholes.
It's one of those things that makes me think about how we used to have these footers on all these websites with that copyright thing and it had like a few different links, like our terms and conditions, which is probably a really important thing.
Right.
And it used to be like light gray,
4-pixel font.
4-pixel font on the light gray text. But it's probably one of the things that people might have been like, I really want to read that. That's important to me.
Yeah.
What are you doing with my information?
Exactly. Yeah. It's like when I started having like a black background with lime green text, like this small was the thing to do. Because it was cool. It was like, this fucking rebel, man, you rock out. Like, that doesn't work nowadays, but it was cool back then.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
I didn't think about the users.
Well, that was the Web Wild West, right?
Yeah.
Anything went, anything goes.
And anything went, exactly.
That was back when the entire website was just like GIF or GIF, however you want to say it.
Team GIF. Hashtag Team GIF.
Team GIF.
Team GIF. But that's Angel Fire GeoCities days.
Yeah.
There was no thought of a user per se. Like, our friends that were also mutual creators were the user.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, and now we're actually have these goals. Sometimes they're business goals. Sometimes they're a goal to get out information that's important. Sometimes it's about people finding information about their health, which is vital.
Very vital.
And it needs to be accessible.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Even like medical forms. Some medical forms you see out there are not accessible. It's like, well, wait, these are medical forms.
Yeah.
Like your users you're giving these to people with disabilities and impairments, yet it's not accessible to your users. Like, are you kidding me? What are you doing?
Yeah.
It's stuff out there just kind of blows my mind sometimes. I don't know.
Yeah, who was it yesterday that there's someone else that we're talking to that does the behavior analyst? You remember her name? But we're talking to someone else about accessibility. I mentioned how testing out using a switch and moving through a interface using just a single button, and how it's a test of patience, and how, what do you think about if we have breakpoints for screen size? Does it make sense to have something similar for your level or issue of disability?
Right.
I mean, obviously the screen readers, but there's different tools. Like, would it make sense if we had something like that?
So we had a design meeting at work one time, and we were talking about accessibility, because I'm doing a lot of the accessibility work, going to be starting on and off. And they showed me a website where there was like a accessibility simulator for that website. So depending on what type of disability you had, you can choose options to make that experience be more user-friendly for you. It was the coolest thing I've ever seen. And it wasn't an extension. It was built into the website. So the engineering team behind this company did this for the users. It was like an accessibility toolbar, and it came from the bottom. You could choose your text. So if you were dyslexic, you can choose to have all your text in Comic Sans, because italicized fonts are a lot easier for dyslexic users to read. Yeah. Because the up and down straight bars, that runs together for dyslexic users.
You're hearing Comic Sans, best font.
Comic Sans. But you could change the colors, right? So you can change the color. If you have deuteranopia as a color vision deficiency, you can change to deuteranopia or tritanopia, or even if you're monochromatic, which 1 in 33,000 people experience monochromatic color vision deficiency. Yeah, so that's shades of gray, and that's it.
Crazy.
Wow.
And you can choose that option in like that simulator, so you can have an amazing user experience. I think that is the bomb.
Love that.
Yeah,
that's really
cool.
Great.
Have you ever used the, I think it's Funkify?
I've used Funkify. I use Spectrum. So I think Funkify you have to pay for now?
Yeah, it's like $5 a month, but it gives so much. You can actually simulate someone who like is shaky, like the cursor will actually mess up. You can simulate tunnel vision. It's amazing extension. Funkify, highly recommend.
Funkify. I heard of another one called No Coffee, which is another one. I haven't messed with that. Spectrum, where you can change the colors for color vision deficiency, and then I use Xcore like nobody's business. So
and there's also things like certain people just get sick with animation. Certain animations just they can't do it.
I get that actually. I have problems if it's too animated.
And there's rules behind that. Like the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines says any like animation or movement, it's got to be 3 seconds or less. I think it's 3 seconds or less.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Because if you do it any longer, you can get sick. It's just like motion sickness. It's no different than on a machine, or whether you're in a car or on the boat. Like something, it can happen. So
what do we do to help educate people, and what are you doing? What is your talk at the root of your talk? Like, what is it trying to come across?
This shit matters. That's my point, right? And I'm very passionate. I get very loud. It matters, and everybody needs to care. And you're building on the web for a reason, right? We're all in this for a reason. And if we don't take everybody into consideration, what are we doing? What are we doing at the end of the day, right? That's what I'm trying to get. And there's a handful of people out there that are doing amazing things in the accessibility space. We need more people out there speaking about it, because it's a second thought. It's an afterthought. It's never prioritized. And it's hard to get buy-in from stakeholders in the business. But sometimes you just got to put your foot down and be like, listen, no, this needs to happen, because we'll lose users or we'll get sued, so.
Yeah, well said. I picture you now going on stage and yelling, but you need to do accessibility.
I've done that, and people love it. They're like, I care so much now. Thank you, Chris.
So how can people reach you if they want to actually reach out to you?
So you can get a hold of me on Twitter, Salt and Burnham. So if you're a Supernatural fan.
Oh, I haven't seen it. I hear good things though.
So
I like it up to like season 6, and that's
so they're doing the last season 15, and that's it.
Really?
I'm kind of heartbroken.
Yeah, that's a long time.
That's a long time.
Like a very elaborate story. It's not like, Simpsons has been going on forever, but it's not really this overall story that continues throughout. Yeah. So
Salt and Burnham on Twitter. If you're a Supernatural fan, will understand that reference. If you want to email me, cdemars86@gmail.com. That's probably the best way is Twitter. So
Awesome. Any final words of wisdom?
If you were going to be in Orlando this weekend, I'm speaking at Orlando Code Camp, and I'm giving a front end performance talk, actually.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, yeah, and it's free. Orlando Code Camp is free. Most code camps are free. So.
But what's the URL for? We'll put it in the show notes, but for audio listeners.
OrlandoCodeCamp.com, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can see the sessions, you can see the agenda, you can see the speakers.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Perfect. Shout out to Santosh.
Santosh.
Shout out to Sam Basu. And all my friends that'll be there, so that'll be fun.
Awesome. Great. Well, hey, man, thank you so much for being
Thanks
on
for
the show.
me.
Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, guys. We'll have a lot more coming up.